One of the last things that weighed heavily on D'Angelo was the passing of his favorite artist, Prince. Rumor has it that D'Angelo confided in family members that he believed Jay-Z played a role in the late icon's struggles. According to what he allegedly shared, Jay-Z supposedly tried to maneuver Prince into giving ownership of his music to Tidal, which later sparked a lawsuit from Prince's estate against Jay-Z's Roc Nation. While the lawsuit itself is a confirmed fact, the whispers about D'Angelo blaming Jay-Z have taken on a life of their own online. So, what's really going on here? Did Jay-Z somehow orchestrate events that contributed to Prince's decline? Or is this just rumor amplified by industry insiders and fans connecting dots? The music world is a complicated web. Managers, attorneys, record executives, everyone is slicing off a piece of the pie from tours, publishing, endorsements, and more. When artists are in the system, success follows in hits and streams. But the moment someone tries to step outside that machine, to take control of their own work and career, the heat comes, and suddenly, they're no longer the same hot commodity they once were. Prince wasn't just railing against label control, he took extreme steps to wrest autonomy from the industry. Unlike many artists who quietly grumble about contracts, Prince actively sought to reclaim ownership of his art, experimenting with independent distribution and unorthodox deals. That fierce insistence on independence, combined with the constant pressures and legal battles, fueled speculation about the industry's role in his final years. Meanwhile, the lawsuit itself remains a concrete event. Prince's estate went after Roc Nation, officially claiming copyright infringements and highlighting the complexities around music rights and ownership. Yet despite the legal confirmation, the story didn't get the mainstream attention many thought it deserved, quietly fading from public discourse while fans continued to debate the circumstances surrounding the icon's passing. For decades, observers eyed the industry with skepticism, linking sudden deaths of legends like Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston, and Prince to a combination of creative control disputes, business pressures, and the unrelenting machinery of record labels. Prince, however, stands out not just because of his talent, but because he actively fought to break free from the conventional system, making him a lightning rod for speculation whenever anything went wrong. At the end of the day, the music business is as much about power and control as it is about art. When an artist dares to step outside the established norms, questions about motives, influence, and interference naturally arise. And in Prince's case, that rebellion, combined with high-profile figures like Jay-Z in the mix, has only fueled curiosity, rumors, and speculation about what really happened behind the scenes. Prince was just 18 when he stepped into the music world with his first deal at Warner Music, a teenager whose talent was already leagues ahead of what most artists achieve in a lifetime. By 1984, with the release of Purple Rain, he had exploded into a global superstar practically overnight. But with fame came power, and Prince wasn't content to simply ride the wave. He wanted control, full ownership of his music, creative freedom, and the ability to dictate the terms of his work without a label breathing down his neck. In 1985, he took a bold step and launched his own label, Paisley Park Records. What followed was a remarkable stretch, 8 albums where Prince reigned supreme both creatively and commercially, producing one masterpiece after another with virtually no limitations. For a time, it seemed he had achieved the perfect balance of artistic freedom and industry success. But the harmony didn't last. By the early 1990s, tensions with Warner Music had started to surface. By 1993, those tensions erupted publicly over disputes about money, ownership, and ultimate control. Unlike many artists who would quietly negotiate behind closed doors, Prince chose to make his frustration visible. He appeared in public with the word slave emblazoned across his face, a stark, unmissable statement of how he felt trapped by his contract. The move stunned the industry and sent a clear message: he would no longer be constrained. Then came one of the most audacious moves of his career. Prince abandoned his name entirely, adopting the now legendary, unpronounceable symbol. Suddenly, the world couldn't refer to him in the usual way. Fans and media scrambled, resorting to calling him the Symbol, the Squiggle, or the artist formerly known as Prince. It was disruptive, confounding, and unforgettable, a daring act of defiance that perfectly encapsulated his refusal to be controlled. Through these bold moves, Prince not only asserted his independence, but also challenged the entire music industry to rethink artist autonomy. His rebellion wasn't just about money or ego. It was a fundamental fight for the right to own his work and shape his destiny on his own terms. And in doing so, he left an indelible mark, inspiring generations of artists to demand the respect and control that he so fiercely championed. Prince's bold actions were never accidental. Every move was a calculated statement, forcing the industry and the public alike to reckon with just how far he was willing to go to assert control over his life and art. In his own words, he had to dig deep within himself, confronting his past and the limitations imposed by others. One of the ways he did this was by changing his name, symbolically severing ties with the baggage of his former identity and stepping into a new chapter of creative and personal freedom. The decision wasn't just symbolic. Prince later revealed that Warner Brothers had trademarked the name Prince and used it as a marketing tool to profit from the very music he created. To him, it was clear. The company had reduced him to a pawn, a vessel to generate revenue while stripping him of full control over his own artistry. Around the same time, across the Atlantic, George Michael was publicly denouncing his contract with Sony, calling it professional slavery. Suddenly, the industry's power dynamics were being exposed by two of its biggest stars, and the cracks in the system were impossible to ignore. Despite his defiance, Prince remained shackled by his contract. The label still held the keys, and complete independence was out of reach. Undeterred, he took a more aggressive approach. He flooded the market with music, releasing albums in rapid succession to fulfill his obligations and claw his way out from under Warner's grip. It was a relentless strategy, every release a step toward liberation. As Prince reflected, the deeper one delves into these entangled systems, the darker the path becomes. Beyond the business lesson, there was a deeper philosophical point. Independence, resilience, and self-awareness are essential for anyone seeking to thrive in a world that often undervalues their contributions. Prince's words resonate far beyond music. They speak to anyone striving to maintain agency in environments that seem designed to limit it. His life and guidance remind us that while structures may impose limitations, determination, strategy, and an unshakable belief in one's worth can redefine what is possible. In every note he played and every contract he challenged, Prince's enduring message was clear. Own your art, claim your space, and refuse to be minimized by a system that fails to recognize your full power. Despite the accolades and commercial success, Prince eventually grew disillusioned with the music business. He confessed to the LA Times that, knowing what he knows now, he might have chosen an entirely different career. In a candid Rolling Stone interview, he went further, asserting, "If I can't do what I want to do, what am I?" For Prince, the issue was never fame, it was freedom. Without ownership over his work, he felt like a slave to the system. He often said, "I don't own Prince's music. If you don't own your masters, your master owns you." Determined to reclaim control, in 2007, Prince escalated his battle against unauthorized use of his work. He prepared lawsuits against platforms like YouTube, eBay, and even the Pirate Bay for streaming or distributing his music without permission. At the same time, he pulled his catalog from all digital platforms except Tidal, then Jay-Z's streaming service, granting them exclusive rights to stream his album Hit and Run. The aftermath of Prince's death in 2016 only complicated matters. His estate filed a federal lawsuit against Roc Nation, alleging that Tidal had streamed his entire back catalog without authorization, even though Prince had explicitly approved only one album for a 90-day period. Despite this, Jay-Z publicly flaunted the narrative as if he controlled Prince's masters. Rapping just a month after the musician's death, Prince left his masters safe and sound. "We're never going to let the elevator take him down." What makes this saga even more haunting is the timing. On April 18, 2014, Prince officially regained ownership of his legendary catalog from Warner Music, a hard-won victory for creative independence. Almost exactly 2 years later, on April 21, 2016, He was tragically found dead in an elevator at Paisley Park. The eerie alignment of these dates adds an almost surreal weight to his story. Prince's life was a masterclass in resisting control and demanding autonomy. From challenging labels to reclaiming his masters, he continuously fought to ensure that the creator, not the corporation, held the reins. And even in death, the struggle over his art underscores the precarious balance between genius and the machinery that seeks to profit from it. Prince's death was officially ruled an accidental overdose, yet the circumstances remain murky. According to the police report, he believed he was taking Vicodin for pain relief, only to ingest counterfeit pills laced with fentanyl, a lethal opioid. In other words, he had no idea he was consuming something deadly. Hours after authorities announced they would not press charges in connection to his passing, they released additional documents and footage from Prince's final days. Among the evidence were photos from Paisley Park on the day he died, showing pills and a bare bottle that investigators allege contained the fatal fake Vicodin. These counterfeit pills were designed to look identical to real Vicodin, making it nearly impossible to detect their dangerous contents. As with other high-profile artist deaths, like Michael Jackson, Prince's passing fueled widespread skepticism. Many fans doubted the official overdose narrative, speculating that the fentanyl-laced pills might have been deliberately administered. Prominent figures in the music industry even voiced their suspicions. Kanye West, for instance, hinted that both Michael Jackson and Prince had been targeted and suggested he narrowly avoided a similar fate. Posting a photo of Prince with the word slave written across his face, he captioned it, "Let's get it, big bro. You and Michael passed so we can live." Adding another layer to the controversy, recent reports claim that D'Angelo also questioned the official story surrounding Prince's death. According to an insider familiar with communications from D'Angelo's family, he suspected that Jay-Z may have played a role in the situation. While this claim cannot be independently verified, it underscores the intense speculation and mistrust that has surrounded Prince's untimely passing. Ultimately, Prince's death, officially accidental yet clouded in controversy, serves as a chilling reminder of both the fragility of life and the complex, often shadowy machinations of the music industry. Whether or not these messages truly came from D'Angelo's family is unclear, but when you consider how boldly Prince challenged the music industry, demanding independence, exposing contracts, and openly criticizing record labels, it's easy to understand why whispers of foul play began to circulate. Factor in the timing of his regained masters, his unflinching battles with the powers that be, and the circumstances of his death, and the speculation almost writes itself. So, what's your take on all this? Was Prince's passing truly an unfortunate accident, or is there a darker story behind it? How do you interpret Jay-Z's moves with Tidal and those lyrics flexing about Prince's catalog? And when you weigh the timing of his reclaimed masters, the fentanyl-laced pills, and the broader industry drama, does it make you question the official narrative? Share your thoughts in the comments, and stay tuned for the next video. We're just scratching the surface of this saga.